What is going on, everyone? Welcome to a little SB Fantasy Football podcast with your pals Alan and Rapid Dave. I'm Alan.
I'm RD. What up?
You know what, brother? I'm just living life, just trying to make it through another football season,
Oh,
right? And one position in particular has been causing headaches for
mm-hmm.
everybody, and it's the tight end position. And so you brought a question to me today, and we're going to talk about that. But also, like, with that question, I felt we needed to talk about all the other tight ends too, and not just this one specific player. But we're going to talk about this one specific player first, and then we'll launch into these other tight ends. So, what was your question for me?
I was like, is Kelce droppable? Is he worth dropping? Because you're certainly not starting him, but even every week, someone says that they start him. Like I had to start him this week. I think that's what it is. Like you got, he's like probably your first or second round. He didn't go first, second round this year. Let's be honest. It was more like 3, 4,
Yeah,
5. But you're like, hey, this is my number one. The name is what gets you. You're like, I got to
the
start this guy.
the potential,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is a guy that 3 weeks into the season you hate to have, but you're going to start him every week. I'm not dropping Travis Kelce. Okay,
Yep.
we're 3 weeks into the season. I'm just fine,
Don't
right?
overreact.
I'm not going to overreact. Now it's been a bad 3 weeks. Um, 3 catches for 34, 1 for 5 yards, and 4 for 30. It has not been good,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be just fine. I think it's gonna be okay. Um,
I don't
it,
know, man.
the season overall, his numbers will be down because these 3 weeks are going to be down, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's gonna work itself out. It is. He's too talented of a player. Pat Mahomes is too talented of a player. He loves Kelce. Um, he's gonna get him the ball. That's all there is to it.
I don't know, man. I'm sitting there looking at him. Where's he ranked? I don't even see him ranked on the
Oh, he's
for,
low.
for season. I mean,
Yeah.
he can't be like below Disley.
He's like number 24.
Is he really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm in a Yahoo public league looking at the
Uh-huh.
tight end rankings, but he's number 24.
I don't even see his
Johnny
name.
Munt outscored him.
Yeah, I I,
Colby
I
Park.
I don't know what the deal is. Like, why can't I? Am I just skimming right past him? Because I wanted to look at the total. Because I looked at week 3 and I saw the um I wanted to see that. I don't have him on this list. I don't know why he's not. But yeah, what's his total numbers for the year?
8 for 69.
Total numbers, like, his total scoring. How much has he scored, like, in fantasy points?
It's 11 in this league, but I think this is a half point. I think Yahoo's half point PPR.
Yeah, I must be skimming right past him. Hold on, I gotta do something because now it's driving me crazy. Like, now I
11.
gotta skim it.
It's 11 points. 8 catches for 69 yards and 12 rushing yards.
The heck is going on in this world? Yeah, something must be wrong here.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's 12 targets. I'm sorry. That's not rushing yards.
Oh boy, how much
12,
slower?
12 targets. He's got 1 rushing yard.
Okay,
My bad.
yeah, I don't even see him on here. Like, I see him on the list at the top. As far as projected for week 4, he's projected at 13.88 in PPR, and it's like, okay, yeah, that ain't happening. But remember back in the day, he was like projected
It,
to be
it
like
it's
16,
gonna happen.
17. Yeah,
It's gonna happen. And if you have him and you bench him, that's the week it's gonna be.
yeah,
That's
I'm benching
that's all there is to it.
him. I can't help myself. I'm gonna bench him because I just can't sit here and keep playing him week in and week out. But you know what though, 7 points. It's these randos. I'm not saying Goddard's a rando because he's been good in the past, but 31 points, that's a hell of a day. Commit 25 points, and then you drop all the way down to 15, and then it just starts falling off from there. You know what I mean? Like 6 guys were in double digits. You're talking
Yeah.
everybody else in single digits. So even Kyle Pitts had 9.90. Otten had 9.70. Strange 9.2. So he's kind of fallen into just oblivion where it's like, yeah, he's one of these 15 guys that you can start and get 7 to 9 points. And that's what you're going to get. Unless he
Yeah.
just happens to go off and all of a sudden he's having a great, but I think he's old, tired, too Taylor Swift is rotting his brains, too busy shooting commercials and podcasts and everything else. Like it just doesn't matter anymore. And Mahomes got a lot of talent around him now.
He does. He's got more talent than he's had in a while.
Kelce is not the only target out there.
Yeah. And I mean,
Even though
but
he
it's
had
not.
Tyreek Hill and him. He supported both of them.
Europe was too, right?
Mhm.
I think I saw the stat. Like he had hit like 7 different receivers at one point in time this last week during the game. He's really passing the ball around. You got Xavier Worthy over there. You got Rasheed Rice. Heck, you got Juju Smith-Schuster. Um, P. Ryan out of the backfield. Carson Steele out of the backfield. Just a lot of guys to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
But I think if you own Travis Kelce, don't panic. Every little thing is gonna be all right.
Yeah, everything. Hunter Henry had a terrible week as well. He's 2.90.
Hunter
And
Henry's had one good week. He's
yeah.
he's only week 2,
Well,
right?
it's only been 3 weweeks. So
I
he's
understand
shooting,
that.
33% of the time he's working every time. You know what I mean?
Um, yeah, but Hunter Henry's a guy that I just don't know about. Like he had that one really big week, but you've got a lot of unknown there. Um, is it Brissett? Is it Drake May? Um, you've got a nice little core of young receivers to get the ball to,
Mhm.
as well as Ramondre Stevenson. They're going to run the ball a decent amount, and Ramondre is going to get the ball a lot. So I'm not sold on Hunter Henry.
Mhm.
Um, I have other players that I would rather have that have done worse because I think the big play potential is more so there. Like I mean, a couple of guys that they're not in the top 25. Mark Andrews and Dalton Schultz.
Mhm.
You know, Mark Andrews has got 6 catches for 65 yards this year on 8 targets. Dalton Schultz has got 7 catches for 48 yards on 11 targets. And these are guys that preseason they're top 10 guys,
Yeah.
right? These are must have, must starts, and they're not doing anything. I mean, here's another guy that I know you're real high on. You're high on him every year, David Njoku.
Not
4
super
catches for
high.
44 yards on 5 targets.
Yeah, I wasn't that high on him, but yeah,
I
no, I
mean,
expect him to do at least some decent work, and then you
right.
kinda find out that Deshaun Watson kinda sucks. You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, buddy." Like, ever since he got to Cleveland, it just sucked. He was great down in Houston. He got up there, oh, buddy. It
He
just
was
turned
more
ugly.
relaxed back then.
Uh-huh.
He's just so tense now,
God, this is not a joke, sir. This is not a joke. I found out why I couldn't see, Kelce or something like that. I had a weird filter on or whatever, but yeah, he scored 15 points this year. And he used
Yeah,
to do that on a weekly basis. And again, we're week 3. There's some, you have him there. You got Laporta at 17.40. Um, it just it's a wild year. We've been talking about it, how like these stud tight ends are just not there week in and week out anymore. Like you're gonna have to throw a dart at the wall and just get lucky. And then
yeah.
hopefully that person goes off. Got it. Like I said, he's in top tight end right now at 44.90, and it came from this week.
It came from one game. He had 11 targets, 10 catches, 170 yards.
Yeah.
Just balled out. But I
Mhm.
mean, it's not. It's also that way with like Cole Kmet. You know, he went from 1 catch to 4 catches to 10 catches this last week and a touchdown.
Yeah. I
So
mean, Bowers right now, he's your target. He's got the most receptions. I didn't mean to say target. He's got 18 receptions. Goddard's at 17. Komet's at 15. So I mean, at least those are some numbers you can build off a little bit. Bowers, I think, has surprised me a little bit, but not a lot of other people. I mean, he's got 21 targets. And I think he leads him and McBride lead the league in targets at 21. I think I got Goddard at 20.
yeah,
Gesicki's got 18, which has been a nice little shock this year. He out of nowhere, but that's going to fall off a little bit more, I think, with T. Higgins being back.
yeah, and they want to see some more of Eric All too. Um,
Mhm.
the
He looked
rookie,
good.
and he's from tight end U. He's from Iowa, so he's a guy that I drafted late in dynasty leagues because he's an Iowa tight end. So and all they do is come in the league and dominate.
Nice.
But Trey McBride, you got to worry a little bit about. He's got the concussion. George Kittle's dealing with the calf. Um, they're expecting him to return to practice sometime this week, but you just don't know. You know, um, there's just a lot of unknown here, and I think the big thing that we just want to stress is we're 3 weeks in, guys. Calm down, take a breath, and relax. You're still at a point where you can trust the players that you picked. Now, if we're starting to look at 4 weeks, okay, if they continues, but then you've got some guys that again, I'm gonna ride. If I had Travis Kelce, I'm gonna ride him all season because the potential there, the big play potential is there. It just is.
It's funny too because you're like, we're 3 weeks in, but I mean, after week 4 though, we got to start making changes. Then you're like, well,
Start
Kelsey,
looking.
I'm not making any changes.
I'm
Like,
not. I'm not
I'll start
starting him every
benching
week.
people.
I will ride Travis Kelce if I don't have Kelce in any of my leagues, but if I did, I'll ride him all year.
Yeah. Well, you didn't want to pay the premium. No one really, if you're taking a look at these like season totals and like you said, it's been 3 weeks, right? None of the studs are here. Other than like I was high on McBride. He's there, but now he's hurt. Kittle's always kind of in the talks. We had more, thoughts about Pitts this year just because uh Cousins is in town, but everybody else, they're just not there. Bowers, people were really high on Bowers. I'm just like, well, we'll see what happens. Vegas is a train wreck. But yeah, I mean, it's this position has gone back to just, yeah, we don't know. It's just whatever happens this week. You're going to take 4 points. You might get 20. Hell, it might go 40, but you ain't going to see that more than 1 week. But
Right.
still early. Maybe Goddard blows up again. He was a must have a handful of years ago.
Yeah. Dealt with some injuries and we'll see what he is this year. But yeah, it's just
So
kind
early.
of it's still early. But again, if you've got some of those guys, you ride them because of the big play potential there, right? And the nice thing you have going for you is nobody else's tight end is blowing up, really, right?
Not on a consistent basis. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of like how it used to be, right? You had one of the top two guys. You had Kelsey, or you had like Ertz back in the day, and then there was just everybody else.
I mean, we had
Right?
three the last handful of years. You had Kelsey, you had Andrews, and then who was the third one? Was it Goddard or was it
Ertz.
Ertz? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry used to do some damage. Yeah, I mean, there
Yeah,
was
and
like
Antonio Gates back in the day, right? Um,
well,
but
yeah, and I'm
last
talking about more recent. There was
right?
three dudes that you were going after. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was Kelsey and it's Kelsey, Kittle, and
Oh, yeah,
Andrews.
Kittle, yeah.
So those are the guys that you were clamoring over in the first couple rounds, and then it was like, all right, well, I didn't get those dudes, so we'll worry about
Everybody
the other.
else is just vanilla ice cream after that.
Yeah.
They're good, but not great.
Mhm. So then this year it's just showing you that, well, no, anything can happen. So
Whoever's the highest scoring tight end this week will be the new number one tight end. Kind of the way it's worked.
kinda, yeah. Not in projections, obviously, but yeah, you'll be the new season leader. Even but depending on what these numbers are and how big they go, I mean, they might be kind of far behind to catch up. But like I said, Goddard's at 44.90, 17 receptions, 239 yards. Most of these guys are rostered in most of the leagues. The surprise here, well, not the surprise, but Komet, he's fourth right now. Um, but he'll be picked up off of waivers, so he's only rostered like 42% of leagues. So
Yep.
that'll be fixed. Kaseki's 41. You're going to start seeing him tick up a little bit. But yeah, but Ertz is 23. I mean, I had to pick him up this week to slap him in a league. I was like, come on, man, I just need like 6 points. It's like,
Just
just do your job.
give me a little bit of juice, buddy. Come on.
That's it. And then I put my faith in him, and I had Gasecki sitting there that I could have picked up. Komet was available as well, and I was like, I faded Gasecki this week just because, like I said, Higgins was back. But yeah, oh well, it is what
Yeah.
it is. But
What you can do.
it's a stressful position to have to try to work on and fill. And
Yeah.
I miss the old days where you dropped the dude that was up because you're streaming tight ends like they were defenses. And now it's
Yeah.
like, well, if I pick the right one, this could be a game winner. It could be a
I'm good.
week winner.
I'm good. Right. Like back in the day with Gronk, like I would draft Gronk and I would just let him sit. But then it was like Gronk's bye week. And so I'd be sitting there looking at my roster and I'd be like, okay, do I just take the 0 points this week, or do I drop or is there another player that I'll drop, right? Because back that was when Gronk was in his heyday, you could take a goose egg from him and your team would still be fine because the other tight ends weren't producing anywhere near what he was producing,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah. And especially if you had a decent bench and you had like handcuffs and things like that, like you were strategic and surgical, if you want to call it that. And you're like, I'm not dropping. I got a limited bench. I'm just going to take the 0 this week. I'm not screwing this up, and I'm not going to And that's what you did. You're like,
yep.
fine.
You're like, I'm okay with the 0 from there because his tight end scored him 2 points, so I'm good, right?
Just need my guys to step up. Just do your job. Let's get in. Let's get through this week, and I'll see you next week.
This is a team sport. I need the other guys to pick up the slack this week, okay? So let's pick up the slack this week. He'll be back next week to carry you. Carry him for 1 week. He's been carrying your ass all season, okay? I'm just saying. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on the tight end position this year? Are you freaking out? Are you just like, you know what? Tight ends, they're the new kickers. Who cares? I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. As always, I'm Alan.
RD.
Talk to you guys later. Deuces.